went to Codogno in February 2020, and he joins us again. Mark, welcome back.
Thanks, Jane. Nice to talk to you.
Well, remind us what it was like 1 year ago and how scared people were.
It was a very strange moment because we started getting reports about a cluster of locally transmitted cases up in the north around this town that really very few people outside Italy have probably ever heard of, Codogno. And we went up there, it was about a 6-hour drive up from Rome, and that was where we started thinking, do we wear a mask? Do we wear gloves? We started seeing police closing off roads and hearing about the term red zone and lockdown for the first time. And you got the sense that this was something very, very foreign to, and when I say foreign, I don't mean coming from abroad, I mean something that is very unknown to Western civilizations, and something that had the potential, of course, to build, and of course it did. And so there was a real sense of panic in that town and in the 9 other towns around it that were also subject to the first lockdown, that they were running out of supplies. We were speaking by video call to residents inside the town who were telling us that only pharmacies and supermarkets were open. And I remember, Jane, one of the first things that I saw the next day when we stayed up there was we went to the barrier, the cordon-off zone, before the town, and I saw a man drive up to it from the kind of free side of it, let's say, and hand over a pack of face masks to his sister who was living inside the red zone because they had run out of the pharmacy. And I watched the scene and I thought, yeah, this is really like a scene from almost come from a World War II movie where, you know, supplies were delivered into towns that were cordoned off, and of course it was really like a war, and that's what all the doctors were telling us, that this was the start of something that they hadn't seen really since wartime.
Right. And Italy would eventually go on a severe lockdown, but the death toll continued to climb. As we said, it's now over 95,000. What's the state of the pandemic in Italy now, a year later?
The country is still split into different colour zones. Red is the most severe, orange is middle, and yellow and white are less severe. And even in the last couple of weeks, a few more towns have been re-added to the red zone because there is a worry about the British variant that is spreading in some parts of the country, and the South African variant too has been seen. So it is much more under control than it was, and the Italian health system has rebuilt a lot and has added to its capacity very much. You might remember those early scenes of the Italian hospitals really at breaking point, when there was a sort of relaxation, I suppose, of the virus over the last summer. It allowed the Italian health system to reinforce itself. It also made people a bit complacent, which then led to a second wave over the winter. We're not yet seeing a third wave here, but there is the fear of a third wave. And I think really what the overriding thing that has stuck in Italians' minds is that they were the first out of China to be hit so badly, to be crushed by the virus. They were the first to have a national lockdown, and that has stuck in their minds that, you know, they know what this means, they know the impact of coronavirus, and so they're more liable to just follow instructions than perhaps others. But it's also stayed in the minds of everyone around the world. It's kind of, in a sense, elevated the Italian story to, you know, one of the most memorable parts of the pandemic.
Well, that's interesting. And so would you say then people are generally getting vaccinated in Italy?
The vaccination program is progressing. I think we're still in the over 80s being vaccinated here, and they're just hoping that they can speed up, because of course they know that this is the only thing that will allow them to get back to any